Welcome everyone to another edition of Making an Impact. I am your host, Simply Sensational Billy James here. I want to apologize for the past couple of weeks not being in Making an Impact. 2 weeks ago was Slammiversary, didn't see a point in needing it. Last week things came up. There was some family drama that prevented me from getting Making an Impact out. But I'm back and we got a lot to talk about. We got the third match in the best of 3 out of 5 series between the Wolves and the Dirty Hills. We're going to talk about that. Also, Destination X is next week, and will the new X Division Champion, Rockstar Spud, will he cash in that X Division title for Option C and try to take a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, currently held by Kurt Angle. And after that devastating loss last week to Taryn Terrell, Gail Kim, what's next for Taryn Terrell? What does she have up her sleeve? And the Dollhouse collectively together, what knockout is next on their list? Also, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, they've been butting heads. What's going to happen? We'll talk about that too. Plus, we'll talk about the controversial segment with Mickie James and the Cowboy James Storm at the end of the show, plus much, much more at the end of the show. But let's go ahead and get things kicked off and started right now. Okay, we had a quartet in the ring doing EC3's Trouble, Trouble, Trouble. Totally lame, by the way. EC3 comes out with 2 blondes on each of his arms, followed by Tyrus. He gets in the ring and talks about him being the #1 contender now for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. It's about time. He's been undefeated. It's time for him to get a title shot. And in his celebration, he calls Kurt Angle down the ring to celebrate his final days as TNA champion. Kurt Angle obliges, comes down and says, hey, this is a great celebration. Vern Gagne and Lou Thesz would be rolling around in their graves. Well, EC3 says, I'm getting my title shot. I'm the #1 contender. Kurt Angle reminds him, says, no, I don't think so. Next week is Destination X, and Rockstar Spud has the option to cash in that X Division title for a match against Kurt Angle. EC3 makes it clear that he's going to make Rockstar Spud an offer he can't refuse. This segment could have done without the singing quartet, but it was nice to see Kurt Angle give an angle slam to one of them. But it was really unnecessary, and we didn't need it. It was useless. So, in that sense, that part could have been left off. But EC3 made his points, Kurt Angle made his points, and it wasn't a long, drawn-out segment like a 15-minute segment like we get on Monday Night Raw. So, if you missed the segment, not a big deal. But nevertheless, EC3 is gunning for that TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I say whoever the champ is at Slammiversary, that's when EC3 will get his title shot. And I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. Your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, EC3. Okay, we have our first match of the night. The Destroyer, Bobby Lashley, taking on the deranged Eric Young. Match started out with Lashley in control. He was dominating Eric Young until Eric Young went for a shot. I believe he was able to nail a Shining Wizard using his shin guard. That didn't last long. Lashley was able to come back, but Eric Young came back and was able to lock in the figure 4 leg lock on Lashley, but Lashley was able to power out. Young, toward the end of the match, went for a top rope move, but Lashley caught him, hit a belly-to-belly suplex, followed by the spine buster. However, that wasn't enough to keep Young down. Young came back and was able to get Lashley into the pile driver, but he didn't hit it. In the meantime, Chris Mendez, the Sarge, came out, standing on the entranceway, staring down Eric Young, who stared back, who was looking back at Mendez. This distraction gave Lashley time to hit the spear. 1, 2, 3. Lashley is your winner, and Lashley heads to the back while Chris Mendez stares down Eric Young. If you don't remember, a couple of weeks ago, and this was before they shared the 2014 Slammiversary, that Eric Young took Chris Mendez's leg off of him and beat him with it and choked him with it. So it makes sense that they're going to have this feud. I don't know which way it's going to go, but it's going to be interesting to see how this goes with Chris Mendez and Eric Young. Where does Bobby Lashley go from here? That's a good question. Who knows what's up for the Destroyer? We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, we had our second match of the night, but before the match happened, we had a little segment with the Dollhouse, Terry Terrell bragging about what she did to Gail Kim, and telling Awesome Kong, I'm going to give you an opportunity next week, as I'm going to give you a title shot to my Knockouts title. I'd be a little suspicious there. She then tells Jade and Marty to go and claim their next victim. So we have our Knockouts match. Jade taking on my girl, you got it, Brooke Tessmacher, a.k.a. Brooke. As you see, I'm rocking the Don't Mess with Tess t-shirt here. Not a bad match. Jade had some good offense in there. Brooke tried for 2 pin tips early in the match, but Jade just, dominated with good roundhouse kicks and clotheslines. One point on the outside of the ring, she hits her with a stiff kick to the spine, and then while distracting the ref, allows Marty to hit a hard clothesline. Brooke was able to roll through on one attempt by Jade and got a quick pin attempt, but that didn't work out. She kept getting hit by a couple of face busters and stiff kicks. Finally, Brooke was able to come back and hit her own face buster. It goes for a pin tip, but that doesn't last long. She gets nailed with another stiff kick by Jade. Jade sends her to the ropes. Marty tries to interfere, but Brooke is able to get out of the way. Jade takes out Marty with a stiff boot to the face, and Brooke hits the Tez Shocker to get the 1, 2, 3 and the win. Okay, this was not a bad match. I wouldn't say it was a great Knockouts match, but it wasn't bad whatsoever. I'm glad to see Brooke getting some TV time. Will Brooke get another shot at that TNA Knockouts title? That's $1 million question. You've got Awesome Kong in the wings. We got Slammiversary coming up. Who's going to get that title shot against Terry Terrell? We've got 4 or 5, 6, 7 former knockout champions. We have Gail Kim. We have Awesome Kong. We've got Velvet Sky, who they claim is not on the roster, but we know she is. Angelina Love, Madison Rayne, Gail Kim, and probably the greatest women's wrestler of all time, Mickie James. So who is going to get that title shot at Slammiversary? That is the $1 million question. Who is going to get that title shot? But next week, it's Awesome Kong getting the title shot, as it's Awesome Kong versus Terry Terrell for the Knockouts title. Also, After her match, Brooke was celebrating in the back with Rebel, and when Brooke left to go to the showers, Rebel got attacked by the Dollhouse, Marty and Jade. So maybe we'll see a tag team match, Brooke and Rebel teaming back up again to take on the Dollhouse. We'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. But like I said, it's nice to see my girl Brooke back on TV. Okay, we had a 6-man tag team match. The Rising, Drew Galloway, Eli Drake, and Micah taking on the Beatdown Clan, Loki, Kenny King, and MVP. Okay, Drake and MVP started off with their teams. Drake stayed in control of the match early on, dominating MVP, including avoiding the big boot from MVP. But unfortunately for Drake, he got cheap shot by Loki. This allowed MVP to finally hit the big boot. This puts the Beatdown Clan in control, and they all take turns working on him. Loki works really hard on Drake, even hitting a snap suplex on Drake, including King, I believe, getting in and putting Drake into a abdominal stretch. Loki comes back in. He tries to hit a running clothesline. He misses. This has allowed Drake to get the hot tag to Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway comes in. He starts cleaning house. He sets up Loki for a butterfly suplex off the top ropes. He gets tripped by MVP. That sets him up into the tree of woe. Drake takes out MVP. Micah comes in and saves Drew Galloway. He takes out King. Drew is able to hit a belly-to-belly suplex on Loki. And then Micah comes back in. He sets Loki up on his shoulders. This allows Drew Galloway to hit a doomsday device, flying clothesline from the top rope on Loki. 1, 2, 3. The Rising are your winners. Is this the blow-off to this feud? I don't know. Personally, myself, while I like Drew Galloway and I like the Beatdown Clan, I think this feud is getting a little watered down, and I think it's time to move on. Will they? I don't know. It wasn't a bad match, but if you missed it, that's okay. But still, it's going to be interesting to see where Drew Galloway goes, because Drew Galloway is pure talent. But it's going to be a matter of time to see what TNA does. Okay, it was decision time for Rockstar Spud as he's in the ring with Jeremy Borash, and it's time for him to make a decision. Rockstar Spud says he needs still more time to make a decision, but Jeremy Borash tells him now is the time. Kurt Angle comes down the ring, tells Rockstar Spud that he respects what he's done and that he thinks he's good, but he's Kurt Angle. He's spent 20 years defining what it means to be a champion. He's an Olympic gold medalist, and that he said that he has trained harder than ever before to win this championship, this particular championship reign, and it isn't going to end anytime soon. EC3 comes down and interrupts the party and makes an offer to EC3 to Rockstar Spud, saying he's talked to his Aunt D, Dixie Carter, saying that they will give him a lifetime position as chief of staff if he won't cash in the X Division title. Rockstar Spud basically says, I enjoyed being chief of staff. I loved it. I would have done anything for you and your Aunt D until you fired me. So you can take your job, you can take your big nose, and you can take your Aunt D and stick them straight up your ass, because it might be 1 in a million shot, but I'm Rockstar Spud, and I'm cashing in the X Division title for a title shot against Kurt Angle. So it's official. Next week, it's Kurt Angle defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Rockstar Spud, and the X Division title is now vacated with no champion. This didn't sit well with EC3, and he just let Rockstar Spud have it, attacking him. So, it's interesting. This is be the fourth time that Option C has been initiated. The first two times were successful. The very first man, the creator of Option C, Austin Aries, successfully cashed in his shot, and he defeated Bobby Roode, ended Bobby Roode's longest title reign, his first title reign. And Chris Sabin, the following year, cashed in and defeated then champion Bully Ray. The following year, Austin Aries, once again, X Division champion, cashed in, but unfortunately was unsuccessful in his attempt to become World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, so will Rockstar Spud be able to, or will Angle prove his dominance once again? And where does EC3 fit into the picture? Will he interfere in the match? We'll just have to wait and see next week. Okay, we had the third match in the best of 3 out of 5 series for the TNA Tag Team titles. The Wolves 2-up on the Dirty Heels. Okay, this was just an awesome match. Words can't describe how great this match was. It went back and forth with near pinfalls, outlandish moves. Early in the match, Austin Aries got the last chancery in on Eddie Edwards, I believe. They worked, the Wolves worked over Roode and Aries. It was close back and forth. It just was keep going back and forth, blocking great moves that the Wolves, every time that the Dirty Heels would pull out a move, the Wolves would find a way out of it. There was a nice spine buster followed by by Roode, followed by a 450 splash by Aries, but they couldn't get the pinfall. There was a nice suicide dive by the Wolves onto Aries and Bobby Roode. This match was going back and forth. It was just phenomenally great. However, the Dirty Heels proved once again that their nickname is well deserved when Austin Aries inserted a chair into the ring. Well, while the referee was keeping the chair out of usage, Austin Aries grabbed one of the tag team titles and tried to interfere with it. Before that, when he put the chair into the ring, he told Bobby Roode, "Do you want to win this or what? Are we going to win this or what?" So it was like Roode was hesitant to use the chair. Well, Aries tries to come in the ring with one of the tag team titles. The referee stopping him. And while this is going on, I believe it was Eddie Edwards, Bobby Roode low blows him and then nails him with the chair. And when the referee turns around, he rolls him up 1, 2, 3. Now the Dirty Heels are 2-1. They are still in this series. This was a great match of the night, bar none. I know what I've described is just a tittle bit of how this match was. You gotta go on YouTube. You gotta watch this match. Best match of the night. These 4 guys put it out there. They proved why the Wolves proved why they're the best tag team in the business, and the Dirty Heels, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, proved once again why, as great world champions, they can come together and be one hell of a dominating tag team. So I can't wait. Next week, I assume, will be the 4th match in the series. I look for the Dirty Heels to take it. I look for the 5th match that happened at Slammiversary, with the winners, with the new TNA Tag Team Champions being crowned at Slammiversary. So things are starting to get interested. I like the Dirty Heels getting back to basics. I love that sadistic smile on both their faces at the end of the match. It was just freaking awesome. This was a great match. You got to go and watch it. Okay, Madison Rayne comes down the ring, and boy, is she pissed. She makes the statement that if you ain't twerking down the ring or shoving jawbreakers down somebody's throat, or unless you're Gail Kim, you get nothing in Impact Wrestling. She says it makes her sick to see someone like Velvet Sky, who doesn't even work in TNA, get camera time when she's a contracted wrestler who gets nothing. She says, oh, Velvet Sky is believing her own hype. I'm sure if the crowd starts chanting her name, she'll crawl out from somewhere. Of course, the fans chant Velvet's name, and Velvet comes out. Madison says, oh, let her through, let her through. Yeah, she doesn't work here, but let her on through. And she starts mocking Velvet, but then Velvet jack slaps her and knocks the taste out of her mouth. Well, Angelina Love comes down with the Love security saying, rest her, she just assaulted a good friend of mine. And they tried to restrain her, but Angelina takes out some guards. Oh, by the way, when she took out Madison, she took her out with a stunner, just in case you were wondering. But the Love security regroups, and they're able to handcuff Velvet. Well, Velvet's laughing at Angelina while she's mocking her. She slaps her twice before hitting a hard right to Velvet, taking her down. And as security's hauling, as Love security's hauling Velvet Sky away, Angelina keeps mocking her until additional security comes out to arrest Angelina Love for assaulting the fan. And they haul her away. So it's getting interesting. Definitely we're going to see a match, Velvet Sky versus Angelina Love. It's going to be very interesting. This will be the first time in TNA that these two have actually wrestled against each other. So this is going to be very, very, very interesting to see where this goes. I say Madison's going to side with Angelina. So we might see sort of a new version of the Beautiful People, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's good to see Velvet Sky back, and we'll just have to see where things go with Velvet Sky and Angelina Love. But I'm looking at Slammiversary. We're going to see Angelina Love versus Velvet Sky. Okay, after attacking Rockstar Spud, after Rockstar Spud announced he's going to cash in the X Division title for the TNA World Heavyweight title shot, we got a tag team match for the main event. Rockstar Spud tag teaming with the TNA champion Kurt Angle to take on EC3 and Tyrus. Well, Rockstar Spud and EC3 went at it. EC3 took a cheap shot to Spud's throat and was working him over. Spud came back with a nice enziguri to the head and was starting to get some offense in until Tyrus stopped it, and then he and EC3 worked over Rockstar Spud. At one point, EC3 hit a belly-to-belly suplex on Spud to prove it while mocking Kurt Angle. Tyrus was in the ring and hit 3 backbreakers on Rockstar Spud, but Rockstar Spud somehow came back through, swept under Tyrus's legs, and got the hot tag to Kurt Angle. Well, Kurt Angle starts cleaning house. He takes out Tyrus, and then he goes and gets the ankle lock on EC3, but Tyrus breaks that back up and gets Kurt Angle into a bear hug. Well, before he can do anything, Rockstar Spud comes off with a missile drop kick on hitting Kurt Angle in the back, which takes out Tyrus, and then I believe that allows Rockstar Spud to pin Tyrus. I can't remember if Angle hit the Angle Slam before that, so I don't want to say he did. 1, 2, 3, Rockstar Spud and Kurt Angle are your winners. Well, while they're having a stare down at the end of the match, looking at each other while Kurt Angle was holding the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, to the dismay of EC3, the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries, comes out and makes the announcement that at Destination X, whoever the winner is between Kurt Angle and Rockstar Spud, guess what? You're going to be wrestling twice, because I'm cashing in my Feast and Fire briefcase for a TNA World Heavyweight title shot, to the dismay of EC3. So this was not a bad tag team match. It proved its point. Of course, EC3 did not get pinned in this match, and it keeps Rockstar Spud strong, and it keeps Angle strong, but it also doesn't damage EC3, as he was not pinned. So it accomplished a lot of things, and it makes you wonder, is Rockstar Spud going to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship next week? Or will it be Austin Aries? Or will we see 2 title changes next week? We'll just have to wait and see. If you missed the match, you can catch it. I wouldn't say it was the best match of the night, but it wasn't terrible. So if you missed it and you want to catch it out, go for it. But it's not one I would put you got to see. Okay, superstars of the week again are the Wolves and the Dirty Heels. Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards for the Wolves, greatest man to ever live. Austin Aries, the F Factor Bobby Roode for the Dirty Heels. They deserved it. They earned it. Okay, this was an average Impact Wrestling. I don't think this would be an Impact Wrestling that I would put as large as your debut on Wednesday nights. It just was not a great show. It was an average show. The matches were good, but they were not great, except for the Wolves versus the Dirty Heels. Okay, let's talk some things. Let's talk one thing. The controversial segment with Mickie James and the Cowboy James Storm. Well, they're supposedly in Nashville meeting the music celebrities that James Storm has lined up. Of course, they're not there. And then James Storm drops the bombshell that he wants Mickie to come and be with him, and her and her son join the revolution. Mickie clearly says, no, what the hell are you thinking? No, I'm not doing that. I have a fiance, Magnus. You're crazy. I'm not leaving them. You're out of your freaking mind. James Storm quickly apologizes, says, no, Mickie, I respect your decision, yada, yada, yada. So they leave, and we have another segment where they're walking at a train stop, and James Storm fakes hearing a phone call, and when Mickie, turns, he pushes her off of the ramp floor onto the tracks. That made a lot of people upset, because it looks like he was trying to kill her. Okay, let's get some things straight here in wrestling. Okay, we have seen some crazy shit over the years, my friends. Okay, if you've watched during the Attitude Era, what James Storm did is mild compared to what some of the things they did. Okay, does anybody remember Val Venus about to get a circumcision? And I'm not talking about the foreskin. All right. Triple H raping a corpse. Does anybody remember that one? Okay. Or better yet, Vince McMahon being blown up in a limousine. Come on. Or Stephanie McMahon being held on a cross like a synthetic sacrifice. I mean, let's get real, okay? It's a wrestling angle. It brings drama, and it's controversial, but that's the thing that wants the, oh shit, people's going to be talking about this. I got to see what's going on. Of course, Mickey's not truly injured, and no, she wasn't killed. Come on, people, let's keep it in perspective. I'm interested to see what's going to happen, because we know now it's going to be, we're going to see Magnus and James Storm go at it in the ring. This feud is going to heat up. I can't wait to see that, and I say it's all going to come to a head at Slammiversary. I pretty much can guarantee you that. Okay? Now, I do think moving to Wednesday nights is a better move for TNA, and I think it's going to work out for them in the long run. And it's just going to take a little time. If Destination America is, not backpedaling with their bullshit lies, I would personally myself, if the so-called rumors about they're going to cancel TNA is true, then I certainly hope TNA sues them, especially for bringing Ring of Honor in. This is making an impact. I'm just going to briefly touch on this. Okay, I've watched some of the premiere episode of Ring of Honor, Destination, that was on Destination America, and while I'm impressed with the action, the production value sucks. It sucks. You cannot hardly read the graphics. It's poorly shot. The cameras need to be upgraded. The quality is nil compared to what TNA's product is, production value. As far as talent level, TNA has just as good talent level as Ring of Honor. And, apple to oranges. Who's your favorite star? Are they here or are they there? That's what it really boils down to. And, I want to see AJ Styles and The Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. But, that's what I got to say about that. Okay? Speaking about AJ Styles, it's been, on the internet rumors that AJ Styles turned down what has been said to be a huge, generous offer for TNA to wrestle a match at Slammiversary and then to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. I'm sad to hear that AJ Styles turned it down, because if anybody deserves to go into the TNA Hall of Fame, it is certainly AJ Styles. And I'm sad to hear that he wants to distance himself from TNA, and so that people don't consider, think of him as TNA. AJ, I'm sorry, but you were the heart and soul of TNA, and that's where you made your name. I know you wrestled in Ring of Honor, but if it wasn't for TNA, I wouldn't know who you are. Okay? I understand that, and this is between you and TNA. We don't know the details, and and such, and of course you have to do what's best for you. But you cannot deny the fact that TNA helped make you a name. I mean, it's a given fact of life. Okay, but whatever you have made your decisions, and you go forward, and if you're happy, that's all that matters. Okay. Like I said, next week we got Destination X. Kurt Angle defending the TNA World Heavyweight title against Rockstar Spud. We'll probably see qualifying matches so that they can determine a new X Division Champion. Taryn Terrell's defending the Knockouts title against Awesome Kong, and she's promising a whole new side to the Knockouts division. It's going to be interesting. Also, I want to address something else. There's a rumor going around that Jessica Havoc had a tryout for the WWE in the past few days. That I find suspicious as a rumor, and here's the reason why I make that statement. Is that it's currently right now, every source of information I have checked, Jessica Havoc is still contracted to TNA. So she would be, if she did try out for the WWE, she would be in a breach of contract. So I find that highly suspicious. Okay, but now it is true that Tyler Hendricks has tried out for a WWE tryout, and I hope she does get signed. She has great potential, and I think she'd make a great addition to the WWE Divas roster. But we'll just have to wait and see. Nevertheless, it looks like hopefully next week's Impact Wrestling will be a lot better. Also, my good buddy John P. Mayer is back. It's back, an independent point of view. My good buddy John P. Mayer has his finger on the pulse of independent wrestling, especially Pro Wrestling Syndicate, probably one of the hottest promotions up in the Northeast. You gotta check it out if you live in the Northeast area. Okay, and you know, John, you know, it's all on Blog Talk Radio every Wednesday nights. You can check the Nerdport Network's Facebook page for the exact times. It's brought to you by the Nerdport Network, so you gotta check that out. Also, you gotta check out the Wrestling Debate, every Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, on Blog Talk Radio. Join myself, my good buddy John P. Mayer, Sean the Shark Williams, Michelle, Stat Boy, Hamey, Andrew B. I'm sorry, Andrew, didn't mean to have you last, but sometimes the best for last. You know, of course, I'm the sensational one, so I get to go first. But anyway, join us every Tuesday night. It's brought to you by the Nerdport Network on Blog Talk Radio. Okay? And Michelle also has Dirty Divas every Thursday night. Check the Nerdport Network's Facebook page for the exact times. Okay, I've been your host, Simply Sensational Billy James. I'll be back next week with another edition of Making an Impact. And remember, please support TNA. Check out, you know, the show. The product has been getting better. And also, you can go to shop TNA.com. They got some great specials. Especially, they've got Slammiversary bundles. They got great deals where you can get multiple T-shirts, other products. They have a special Knockouts package where you can get 4 Knockout T-shirts, 4 Knockout banners, and 2 of their flip books. Plus, you have the option of getting the 2 one-night only Knockouts DVDs for $10 a piece. So you got to check that out. Anyway, as I said, I'm your host, Simply Sensational Billy James, and I'll catch y'all next week.